So some new data just dropped, and it's got Monster Hunter fans scratching their heads, and maybe even grinding their teeth. Seregios and Lagiacrus are back in wilds, baby, but the way they're being treated? Kinda suspect. From weird nest placements to rigged turf wars. Let's talk about what's going on.
Oh shit, here we go again.
Let's start with Steve. It turns out he's been spotted sharing a nest with Gypceros in the Windward Plains and Suwu in the ruins of Wyveria. Two completely different monsters and two very strange roommates. Gypceros, okay, that's odd, but maybe manageable. But Suwu, this is a heavy grounded brute, while Seregios is an aerial fighter built for wide open spaces. Cramped caverns and tight turns aren't exactly his forte. This has led some fans to wonder, is Seregios being relegated to title update status? Because if he were a launch monster, which he was supposed to be, you'd expect him to own a nest, not crashing someone else's. Instead, he feels more like an invasive species than a dominant apex predator. Which, that could be the point. Maybe Capcom is using these placements to push a certain narrative. Seregios as the wandering displaced rogue. Not quite dominant, not quite at home. It adds some texture and flavor in my opinion, but it also smells like an afterthought. Now let's talk about the big sea snake, Lagiacrus. Everyone's been hyped for his return, me included. But the turf war data paints a bleak picture. Against Uthduna, the apex of the Scarlet Forest, Lagiacrus seems to only draw or lose.
You serious?
Not once does he come out on top, which is odd because Uthduna is extremely weak to thunder, and Lagiacrus is literally made out of it. But in the current game model, elemental weakness don't seem to factor into turf war outcomes. What matters more is status, and right now, apex monsters like Uthduna get the VIP treatment. That's led to a bigger question in the community. Is Capcom intentionally nerfing the old guard to boost the new apex monsters? Lagiacrus used to stand shoulder to shoulder with Rathalos and Zinogre, but now? He's the jobber to a new generation of monsters that have plot armor baked into their turf war animations. Of course, the excuse is,
but we're not underwater anymore.
Which is true. Lagiacrus would definitely dominate at sea. But this is a turf war animation, you can't give him one win? Even if he loses to Uthduna, fans want to see him go down swinging. A neck shock, a cold strike, something worthy of the Lord of the Sea. Either way, I'm just here for some great animations. So what's really going on here? It seems like Capcom is moving away from the old Monster Hunter power hierarchy. Rathalos isn't the undisputed king of the skies anymore. Gravios? Nerfed. Lagiacrus? Well, he seems like he's losing. It's all in service of selling the apex monsters like Raidao, Nuudra, and Uthduna as the new standard of power. And maybe that's okay. Time moves on. But the way it's being done, silently, through animation outcomes and awkward placements, feels a bit like rewriting history with a shrug. If you're going to make new monsters stronger, fine. Just don't weaken the old ones to do it, in my opinion. If you made it this far in the video, drop a like, subscribe, and let me know down in the comments below. What do you think about Seregios losing his nest? Or Lagiacrus constantly losing in turf wars? Is Capcom doing right by the classics? Or are they throwing them under the Apex bus? If you guys would want to see your character on screen as well, make sure that you follow me on Twitch. This is how the characters will show up on screen. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.